Hey, I'm taking today off. I figured just take a break from the Marvel stuff. That's pretty much all I've been playing. There really hasn't been too many interesting things going on. Obviously, I've been not in the best mood. Today, I actually was in a pretty good mood most of the day. I've kind of still been dealing with depression and stuff, but I think things will improve in time. There are some things going on. There is a DFO update, which I might check out. I had someone comment that they wanted me to play DFO again, and I was kind of perplexed by that request because I don't really do the endgame content in that. I might put up some videos of Ekon with my skirmisher. I know that there's going to be some event tomorrow where I think you burn 500 fatigue and you get a legendary earring. I would like to get that for him, since I probably will not have the money or the willpower to grind out Hell Mode to get one. So I might go ahead and do that. There's also the Dark Blast on PSO2, but I honestly have had like almost no drive to play that game at all. Like, there's been a lot of problems with it. Episode 5, it basically just seems to be them trying to do damage control from Episode 4, which is when a lot of people, myself included, stopped playing. And I think it's good that they actually are addressing some issues. You know, they did that pretty big balance patch, which I made a video about a couple weeks ago. They made more of the classes viable. It's not just play hero or bust anymore. I know that they did some like drop table changes, and I think they boosted up the stats on Ultimate Amdusia, which got people playing it. I haven't seen anybody that streamed it actually get anything from doing it. It seems like they are trying to add more difficult content to the game, which I'm not sure if I completely agree with, simply because you can already get one-shotted in that game really easily. And I think the main problem with that game is they don't know how to make it difficult. It's either they just, you know, they add like a digit or two to the damage or the HP on the enemies, and that's basically it, which is boring. I've never been a fan of that way of increasing the difficulty in anything, and in that game it's taken to an extreme. So I'm not sure. I probably will check out Dark Blast. It does look pretty cool. You just turned into a big like Dark Falls clone or something. I don't know what's going on with the lore in that game, but apparently everyone is a Dark Falls clone or something. So that's what's going to be going on this week. The plan for next month is I don't really have any intention of buying anything next month at all, unless there's like some random port announced that I'm interested in, or you know, something like what'd be a good example? Something like Red Obsidian Remnant, which I just pick up at random and get enamored with for a while. Unless that happens, I'm really not going to be buying anything next month, so I'll try to get some stuff off the Halloween sale and give it to you guys, or rather I would have to do it at that specific times because of the changes they've made to the gifting system. If you guys would be interested in that, you can go ahead and let me know. Otherwise, I'm not really doing anything until Climax Fighters, so if you're expecting really high-end content, even if I wasn't kind of going through this recovery phase in my personal life right now, you're going to be disappointed, and there's really not a whole lot coming out in the niche world that I am particularly interested in. I will get Climax Fighters because it's going to be in English, and I have my doubts that it's going to be a great game, but there's not really anything else coming out in the holiday season that I'm interested in at all. So that's probably what's going to happen. Maybe at the beginning of next year, maybe sometime before my birthday, I'll try to do some kind of fundraiser for a Switch, because I think it's getting to the point where it actually is worth getting. I'm still not on board with having a handheld console that doesn't have an actual D-pad. That's been like the main thing holding me off from getting one. Like, even if I had the funds to get one earlier this year, like I would have to cough up another $70 for a Pro Controller for somebody who commutes via, you know, public transportation. That's not really too viable for me. So that's probably what's going to happen. I'm sorry if things are a little low-key for a while. I've been feeling better today, but I just really haven't had any interesting ideas for content in the first place. I've mostly just been uploading random stuff. I do still have a Kai Katana and Guardian Hero, so hopefully by this time, you know, next month, I will have the capture card fixed. My friend is going to have to come over and take a look at it. Maybe he'll bring over some of his cables, and we'll do some diagnostics on it or something. But until then, it's going to be kind of difficult for me to do longer videos without editing out 10 minutes of getting the cable, wiggling the cable to get it working. So that's all that's going on. I know people have been really upset about Dynasty Warriors 9. I have to admit I'm losing more and more interest in that game because it seems like they're just bent on taking like all the cool movesets out, and they probably will add them as DLC, but I think that the whole thing of them saying that the weapons, they're being taken out because they're not realistic, that is the biggest BS I've ever heard of, because the content or the footage that they've shown of it so far shows that the combat is even more spectacle fighter based than it ever was before. Everyone has like air combos and jump cancels and stuff, whereas before that was mostly limited to certain characters that were supposed to have the kind of speedster archetype. So I don't buy that for a second. It feels like they just don't have the manpower or the resources to add all those weapons back. But the problem is, with all these characters that are being cloned, like how much is it going to cost to get those movesets back? Like the Koei Musou games have already had a pretty excessive amount of DLC for a while now. Luckily, most of it has just been, cosmetic stuff. If you want to drop $100 on costumes, then you can. But with all these weapons being cut, I'm curious to see like how much is that going to cost. They've already announced like I don't know how many clones now. I think it's at least like over a dozen, if not more. I haven't exactly been counting, but there's already a pretty significant amount of movesets that have been removed. There's some characters that already have like 1 or 2 clones, as far as I know. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen, but I'm not too optimistic about it. If they give me a key for it or something, or they put out the specs for it and I can run it with my current build, then maybe I'll check it out. But I'm really not too interested right now. There is Dragon Ball Fighter Z. I've been getting tired of the Street Monster saying that game is going to be better than Marvel in every way. I think from a presentation standpoint, it is going to be better than Marvel in pretty much every way. But what we've seen of the gameplay, like it looks like the characters are very heavily homogenized, which is never really a good thing in fighting games. I hope to be proven wrong, but the people that played the beta, I tried to get into that closed beta they had recently, earlier in the summer, and I didn't get in, but a lot of people were saying that. I hope that that won't be the case. I hope that it actually won't be too dumbed down and homogenized, because I think the game looks great. I think it's actually pretty interesting to watch, but if the characters are all going to be really similar, then that's going to be a problem, especially since they definitely burnt through some goodwill today by announcing that that giant like $150 collector's edition is not going to have the season pass, which is pretty crazy. I mean, to be fair, it's not really too uncommon for that to happen. I believe that the collector's edition for Marvel Infinite had the season pass in there, if I remember correctly, which made that a little bit more worth buying. We saw how bad the merchandise was in there. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. It does come out at the end of January. I didn't really have anything planned for that month either, so I might check it out. We'll see what happens, but that's pretty much the forecast for now. I'm sorry it's not too interesting. A lot of the stuff that I'm interested in either doesn't exist or doesn't have a release date yet. So please bear with me. December is going to be pretty fun with Climax Fighters. November is probably going to be a Kaikatana and Guardian Heroes. I actually would like to put some time into Guardian Heroes simply because Californiathon is probably going to be coming up around March. I usually do go up there for my birthday. I was not able to go up there this year because my friends that normally house me for events and stuff, they were not able to do it at the time. I do have maybe a friend of mine is going to let me stay up there or something, so I would like to prepare at least 2 speed runs. Obviously, Fight and Rage is ready to go, but Guardian Heroes would be fun as well, so I'll try to put some time into that if I can get the capture card to not drop signal all the time. Anyway, that's it. I'll catch you guys.